Bro, when I tell you, this movie was absolutely terrifying. One of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my entire life. Probably, I want to say this is like, it like bleeds a line between like horror and like reality. Not necessarily reality, but like, you know what I'm saying, how emotions can lead to certain things. Like there's certain like hidden messages within said movie and things like that. I think Curry Barker did a really good job making this movie. So we're about to react to Obsession is Way Darker Than You Think.
Obsession, the brand new horror movie. In this video we will be diving straight into its deeper themes and
That One Wish Willow. Hey man,
symbolism. There will be spoilers. Let us
like
begin.
when even just like that little scene right there when they were on the couch and he went and just turned her head and she stopped smiling. I'm like, bro,
The premise is so simple, but what emerges from it is one of the deepest descents into darkness that I have ever witnessed on a cinema screen. Baron, or Bear as he's known, fancies Nikki, and he gets an opportunity to ask her out. His friend Ian is egging him on. Even Nikki herself is nudging him to ask the question.
Nikki, wait, I was gonna ask you,
What?
I lost my train of thought. Back in that.
And this nigga is such a loser. He can't even ask old girl out. You know what I'm saying? Like so the backstory a little bit, she leaving and like I think like a week or so. She putting in her 2 weeks. I think she wanna go somewhere else. She not really enjoying what she's doing at the little music store they work at. So she like, all right, I'm not enjoying this. I wanna leave. And Bear, he's supposed to, you know, ask her out because he like her, you know what I'm saying? But it's another girl that likes him. And he just not seeing her because he got like these puppy eyes for Nikki. It gets wild, bro.
What else? Why?
But he finds himself unable to ask. Cursing himself as Nikki walks away from his car and towards her house, he takes out his One Wish Willow, a novelty toy that he bought at an occultic store.
Yes, bro. So he went and bought the little One Wish Willow thing from the store. And, you know, as a gag gift, Nikki likes, I think she's into like the whole, you know, rocks give you energy type thing, you know, if you know the history behind that. So then, but he went and got this One Wish Willow and he's, you know, just for like shits and gigs, I guess. And then, you know, so you get the One Wish Willow, you basically what you do, you make a wish and then you crack it. So, and yeah.
And that's when he makes his one wish.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
And
his actual wish was, I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire fucking world, which really puts emphasis on the like when, like, that's why sometimes when people, when they do the genie thing and they're like, oh, you get 3 wishes, you gotta choose your 3 wishes wisely because you can end up with some fucked up shit, you know what I'm saying? So
he snaps the stick. Well, it's a classic case of be careful what you wish for because this ritual is devastating.
She started acting so weird. It's not even funny. Like when I tell you that she started, I want to see if it shows it.
Effective. Or is it? We'll get to that. It seems to possess Nikki's body with a spirit or a doppelganger with an insatiable...
Yeah, so I guess he didn't really explain it, but the way when he first snaps it, Nikki just starts standing on the porch. I'm like, ain't no way. Like, she already acted different. She gets to the car. I don't know if it's like bleeding the lines between her and like maybe the possessed or her and, you know, whatever she's doing. But she's like, no, I'm acting weird. No, yes, yeah. I'm like,
desire to be united to Bear. And the torment that this brings about actually expresses something of the biblical understanding of judgment. You see it in Romans 1. God's judgment on humanity in our fallenness, in our rejection of him, is to hand us over to our wicked desires. It turns out that getting what we want in our fallen state is hellish. Of course, the Bible doesn't end there. There is a light shining in the midst of that darkness. There is a saviour. In the film, what unfolds is incredibly bleak. It's an out-and-out tragedy, but I think it leaves us with a longing for something more. The occultic store where Bear purchases the One Wish Willow is called the Green Man. In modern New Age circles, the Green Man has become regarded...
I don't know who that nigga is. He need to be careful with that One Wish Willow. You Can't be fucking around.
Regarded as a pagan fertility symbol, but actually going further back in time, the Green Man has been a prominent symbol in Christian art and architecture. In the medieval collection of tales, The Legend of the Rood, there is an intriguing story of Seth burying his father Adam, the first human being. According to the story, while Adam was dying, Seth placed 3 seeds under his tongue. These sprouted and grew into a tree, nourished by Adam's decaying corpse, and the wood from that tree was used to make the cross on which Jesus, known as the second Adam, was crucified. So the Green Man, however it's appropriated nowadays, is a Christ-haunted symbol. The possibility of curse being lifted, of life coming from death, hangs in the air for much of the movie, and we as an audience, as we continue this blistering descent into darkness.
Bro, it's like this movie is just so weird to me. Like, I almost want to just watch it with one headphone on. You know what I'm saying? Because
our yearning for resolution alongside the characters grows ever stronger. Anyway, Bear visits this shop, the Green Man store, rather aimlessly. At first he's looking for some crystals which might help to provide good vibes with Nikki. But then he happens to notice something else, a box of One Wish Willows. And he buys one on a whim. There's this writing on the box. The front says, "One wish, Willow, amaze your friends. You only get one wish." And the back says, "Spark the middle and break in half. Usage, open the package to a magical jingle and a fun pop surprise. Hold the One Wish Willow gently, break it in half and state your wish clearly. Wait up to 24 hours for your wish to come true. Disposal. After granting your wish, the One Wish Willow loses its magical properties."
So another thing I kind of noticed was you're supposed to break it and then state the wish. I don't know if that like, because he stated his wish and then broke it. I don't know if that like set off some different type of rules where he wasn't supposed to, do that. I've kind of heard that floating around. Maybe he like cursed the wish by doing that. Even in the end, his friend, I forgot his friend's name, he does it too, and he ends up dying. So it's like, was it...
Now that's fascinating. The text implies that you should state your wish before breaking the stick in half.
Yeah,
but
so
Bear states his wish and then breaks the stick. It's a subtle detail, and I'm not saying that everything would have panned out okay if Bear had only followed the exact order on the box. But it's notable nonetheless. On the right hand side of the box we can just about see that the company is called Tabby Cat Curiosities. That of course has personal resonance for Bear because the film begins with his cat Sandy dying after getting into a bottle of oxycodone.
Bro, when she gave the nigga the sandwich with the cat in it,
highly addictive painkiller. There's even a website listed above the logo, www.tabbycatcuriosities.com. I tried going to the website, by the way, but it didn't work. And beneath the logo, the box says, "Contact us if you have any problems or questions with your One Wish Willow products."
And he calls them, and like, first the dude, he sound like some like chill, weed head, like kind of skater dude. That's the kind of vibe he give off, or like a surfer dude. But then like he starts getting weird, like it like changes really quickly. Like the chill part lasts a long time, and then he changed really quickly, talking about, "Oh, you want to hear it?" And then it's just Nikki straight screaming, like it was crazy.
Please contact our customer service number at 1-323-747-7118. We're here to help. Shall we see what happens if we actually call that phone number? I haven't tried this.
Yeah, me neither. Not one gonna try it.
It's ringing.
Why is he, bro? Why does his phone look like that? Look at that old Nokia that niggas be throwing on the ground that they don't break.
Hey, you've reached the One Wish Willow hotline.
See, yeah, this is
Unfortunately, we're not liable for any unintended things that might have happened to you or your loved ones. That includes property damages, psychological distress, emotional trauma, extreme personality changes, special displays of love, bodily harm, death, or anything resembling possession and stuff like that. It's all there in the fine print, but maybe you didn't read it. Most people don't. If you need further assistance, well, I hope you can find it because there's not much I can really do. Good luck.
Oh my goodness, it works. That is a phenomenal bit of marketing. I imagine it just goes through to the answer phone every time you call it, but still. On the subject of the phone number, I might be wrong about this. I need to check when the film comes out on streaming, but when Bear rings the helpline, I'm almost certain that he dials a different number to the one that's on the back of the box. If I remember rightly, he actually dials something like 10234567. I might be wrong about that, but I was watching the cinema screen quite carefully, and that's what my brain took in. If it turns out to be wrong, obviously disregard this section of the video, but if I'm right, that would be another intriguing departure from what's written on the box, contributing to this sense that we as an audience can't be entirely sure of what we're seeing. The box is naive and playful in its packaging. The reality is much worse. On the subject of consecutive numbers, it's notable that when Bear wakes up in the middle of the night and Nikki starts acting...
Nigga, this is the worst. This is the most terrifying scene I think I've ever seen in a movie. And I know I'm just saying that, like, I want to say I'm kind of being hyperbolic, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, this was so unsettling. When I'm telling you, I'm like this. I'm watching it like this. I'm not joking, bro. I'm not joking. There was some random dude next to me. He's looking at me like I'm weird. My girl, she's just watching it straight up. I need to watch out for her. I ain't gonna lie, but this was
really creepily. The time he wakes up is 3:45 a.m.
Yeah, it was 3:45.
Many have noted that this time might be a reference to the witching hour. Some Christian traditions have regarded 3 a.m. as the devil's hour because it's an inversion of 3 p.m., which is traditionally believed to be the time that Christ died on the cross. So the film might be picking up on some of those things. There are multiple signs that Nikki is demonically possessed in this movie. Whatever it is, it functions in that manner. Immediately after Bear makes the wish, Nikki starts acting very strangely. Her obsession with Bear quickly becomes otherworldly. She moves in with him, she makes a bizarre indoor memorial for his dead cat, she watches him sleep, she gaffer tapes his front...
He gets on the phone and she like, peeping around a corner, crazy. I'm like, he's just having a little conversation. And then
door to make it harder for him to leave. And when he prizes that door open, she just stands there waiting for him to return.
Yes, bro, she stood there, pissed on herself, shitted on herself, threw up on herself. Like she just had no bodily autonomy until he got back home. Which was another thing I saw. It was like kind of like a metaphor for she was raped in a way. Basically, I mean, that wasn't her that wanted to be with him. He made her be with him. You know, they were fucking, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, it was rape, you know what I'm saying? Raped her soul, basically, her whole soul.
So creepy, that building sense of dread as Bear does his day of work. And then how will he find her when he returns home? Will she have changed even more? While he's at work, he opens the packed lunch that Nikki has made for him, and inside are 2 Polaroid photos. The top one is a photo of Bear with a heart and the caption, "You." The second photo depicts both of them lying next to each other, and the caption chillingly says, "Not me."
Yeah, bro. When she pulled the photo up, I'm like, okay, so maybe it was like, it was her other side trying to get through, like her regular side, her normal side. There was a couple times where she kind of like came out of the trance or whatever. First time was when they were making out and she was like, oh wait, what the fuck? And then she jumps and he jumps. And then that's when like the whatever possession or whatever takes back over. So there's a couple times that happened.
And that's a sign that the real Nikki is trying to signal to Bear. The Nikki who is obsessing over him.
That's the scene I was talking about where, talking about, no, she got up, started screaming at him. And it was
is not the real Nikki. The real Nikki is trapped somewhere within. The sandwiches in the lunchbox are filled with the meat of Bear's deceased cat. Grim. Is that the sort of thing that a person who genuinely loves Bear would do? No, it's bizarre, it's disturbing, it's a form of torment. I think throughout this film we are seeing a demon's torment masquerading as being in love with Bear. A demon can keep up the act to some degree, but the mask slips quite catastrophically in a lot of places.
For sure. So this is when they were in the restaurant and I guess they're about to
Dad really have
reveal
cancer?
it. She lied about her dad having cancer. I guess the like demonic side or whatever. Lied about her dad having cancer. He confronts her inside the restaurant because his man's calls him. He's like, "Yo, I called and checked on her dad. The nigga fine." You know what I'm saying? Like he's smooth. And she go, so she just lies to him about it.
No.
What?
No, don't say that!
Bear is beginning to
Like,
panic,
when
so he
she,
calls
like, Indy, like her performance in this movie, top tier. And the budget for the movie was only $750,000. She fucking knocked this out of the park. Like I've never seen nothing like this.
helpline on the back of the box. And like the staff that we encounter at the Green Man's store, the person on the other end of the line is worryingly laid back. He sounds bored.
Yeah.
What's up? I was
Like a little,
calling
like, that's
to
what I'm
see
saying,
if
like,
there's
he's
a way I
laid
can
back as hell.
alter a wish.
Like to cancel your wish?
No. It's okay to keep the.
And this is
I
what I'm
just want to know if I
talking
can like alter it a little.
He don't want to. You know she not really fucking with you, and you see this like demonic shit she doing. She taped the door off, like she was hella rolls of duct tape to take the door off. She don't want him to leave. She stabbed herself in the eye at a little friend get together. It was so embarrassing. The monologue that led up before that and things like that. But this is where I was talking about Bear is a suck ass nigga because you know she didn't want to, like the original Nikki, she may have wanted to be with you, but since you pulled that whole, you know what I'm saying, you didn't even give her the chance. This is where I'm talking about where that raping of her soul comes in. You didn't even give her the chance. So now it's like she don't have a choice, and you like, oh, you see what's going on. You see like the quote unquote demonic possession happening, and you don't even like try to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, nah, let's just cancel the wish. He's talking about I'm trying to alter it. How you can't alter a wish? How you gonna alter your wish?
I'm sorry, we don't really do that.
No.
If
Some
you have
people were
any
saying
questions,
it was Curry Barker's voice on the other side of the like he acted as the guy, which is kind of cool.
about how the wish works, or if you read the back of the box.
Is it even real?
Yeah, it's real.
No, I know that is her love real.
Just because you chose this for her doesn't make it less real.
See, you chose it for her. You didn't let her make her own choice. You chose it for her.
Well, that is a chilling line, isn't it? And Bear will come to see that it's a lie. The obsessive love for him that is being expressed through Nikki's body is not genuine, it's demonic. And therefore it's not love, it's a fleshly, all-consuming addiction. That's what Bear has unleashed. It's also on this phone call that Bear learns how he can break the curse.
So she's just stuck like this forever?
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you live.
As long as I live.
And then something even
Yeah, bro. So that curse is gonna last as long as he's alive. So until he dies, that's when it'll end.
more disturbing happens. The man on the other end of the line offers Bear an opportunity to speak to Nikki. We hear her anguished screams over the phone line. Is that the real Nikki? The one who has been imprisoned and suppressed by Bear's wish? Perhaps. At Ian's house party, Nikki silences everyone through a dark, incestuous retelling of Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
So it's really weird. It's about Gretel seducing Hansel, basically. Again, it's so carnal. It's pure, self-centered.
She killed the vibe of that party. Like they were chilling. They were doing Jengas, taking shot, this and that. And there was the one Jenga that was like, Bear pulled the Jenga block, and it was like, oh, kiss the person to your left. The girl that originally liked him was on his left, and Nikki got up with this sinister ass frown, talking about, and then when it scooted, I forget her name. She scooted her chair all the way back on the wood ground though, so like you can hear it, like you can hear it. Probably scratched up the guy floor, you know what I'm saying? So pulled it back and then went next to him. And then she's like, none of you will ever love Bear as much as I do. And then that's when she snaps out. And then she, you know what I'm saying? So, oh, it's not me, and starts stabbing her. So,
obsession, not self-giving love. And it ends with Gretel saying, "Hansel is my soul, a love that only the branch of a willow tree could conjure."
A love only the branch of a willow tree could conjure.
And that line,
basically saying, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's kind of poking fun at him. He had the one wish willow, it was like willow tree. The one wish willow's made out of the bark from a willow tree, I assume. So it's kind of poking fun at him, where she's staring right at him, telling, you know, a love that only the willow can conjure. I think Hansel and Gretel, they're brother and sisters, you know what I'm saying? So that's like that's kind of how like their relationship was before, like they were best buds or whatever. But he really liked her, you know what I'm saying? So he really took that autonomy away from her, forced her, you know what I'm saying? So
line is delivered knowingly to Bear. I think the demon knows exactly what's going on. It's tormenting the real Nikki, suppressing her, and it's also tormenting Bear. The party ends with Nikki stabbing herself in the face with a broken bottle.
Yes, many times, bro, many times.
Is that the real Nikki, piercing through, desperate for her torment to end? Probably, because later that night, when Bear gets out of bed, Nikki is asleep. And in that state, we seem to get another moment of the real Nikki piercing through. She begs Bear to take her life, to release her from this torment.
I guess while the demon sleeps or whatever, she's able to, I don't know, like be like, you know, awake. While it sleeps, she's awake. And she's asking him, like, you know, just kill me, bro. Like, please, like, you know, just kill me. I can't deal with this no more. I'm saying there's no way to break this. And dude talking about what's so wrong with being with me. That's not her. Like, are you serious right now? When I heard that, I'm like, oh yeah, nah. He deserved everything that really happens to him.
And this moment reminds me a bit of The Exorcist. When the young possessed girl, Regan, is asleep, the priests find the words, "Help me," engraved onto her belly. That sense of the real Regan who has been suppressed by the demon, piercing through, crying out for help. And a key dimension of the film is that the protagonist, Bear, is actually a really horrible character. Yeah. He says to the real Nikki something like, "It's not so bad being with me, is it?" And then he leaves the room. Part of him wants to keep this going. He doesn't love the obsessive version of Nikki. He's scared of that, obviously. But equally, he doesn't want to listen to the real Nikki. What he really wants is someone in between, which again would be a figment of his imagination, a fantasy. The car scene is truly shocking. Bear and Sarah share a genuine moment.
That's her name, Sarah. Nikki smashed her shit in straight into a brick. Playing it like, yeah. Like, man, I would show y'all, but I can't even show that here. But when I tell y'all, it was the kind of scene in the car, like, you can tell from the angle, something was going to happen. Somebody's going to run up to the window. I don't know who it was, you know, who was going to get murked or whatever. But I'm sitting there, once again, I'm like, I can tell, bro. Like, I can see, I know it's going to happen, bro. So I'm prepared. I was prepared.
Of connection. And she's this figure who has quietly loved him all this time.
Yeah,
and Bear starts to recognize that and possibly even reciprocate it. Yeah. But at that moment,
she's like, we need to meet. You know what I'm saying? So we need to meet up, or I'm coming over. You know what I'm saying? If she came over, you know, Nikki wasn't gonna have that. Nikki was probably killed her on the spot right there. But so, wow, I guess the demon slept for its good time or whatever, and Bear got to get out of the bed. And so he goes to meet Sarah, and they're talking in the car. Sarah's been trying to get into this music school. No, not music school, tattoo. She's trying to go to school to be a tattoo artist. And she has all these schools that she applied for. Her and her dad. Her dad owns the music shop. And, like, the 4 friends work there. I forget the other guy's name. I got to find his name, too. But all the other guys work there. And all 4 friends work there. They usually, like, hang out on certain days, I think, for, like, bingo and stuff. And I don't know if that's how Sarah built her love for Bear or whatever, but she starts to, like him. So they open these, her and her dad were opening a couple of the letters. It's kind of like college letters, like, hey, you got in or you didn't, you know, from the schools. And she was down to her second to last one. They opened that in the store after Bear ate his cat. And in the car, they were going to open the last one together because she didn't want to open it without him, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I guess he's been there for her for a while. And she's telling him, like, I don't even know why you got with her when you had somebody in front of you, you know what I'm saying? And I liked you this whole time. And he was like, yeah, I know. And then they were kind of like going to kiss. And Nikki's like, hey.
Possessed Nikki arrives to smash Sarah's head with a brick. It's deeply traumatic to watch. But when he gets home, things are truly out of control. The house has been turned into this horrifying shrine.
Bro, when he first got in, I guess he didn't mention that. Smashed her shit in, and then went over to Bear's side. He's freaking out. He's blood all over him and everything. And Nikki is like, oh, baby, I know, yeah, it's your fault though. You know, you gotta help me hide the body, right? So they take it, I think, to, I don't know where they take it, but they didn't like put her in this case or whatever. And she's like, all right, why don't you go home and clean up, and now, you know, get rid of it. And this dumbass, he agrees to it, whatever. And so then he tries to go back to the store actually, and gets another One Wish Willow. And then the guy like fakes them all, like, oh, they're not here, yada yada. And then he picks up another one, and I'll explain more if they don't.
Sarah's corpse has been placed on a chair, and
yeah, so she placed her naked ass corpse on a chair. She copied all her tattoos. She was moving weird.
All her clothes have been removed. Nikki is now wearing them. That sense of trying to steal the love for Sarah that Bear might have had and claim it for herself. This brings us to the ending. Bear locks himself in the bathroom.
Okay, so he didn't explain it, but when so before that, between Sarah being killed by Nikki and Bear arriving home to that scene, Bear goes to the green, you know, whatever place he just said. He tries to get another One Wish Willow because he wants, you know, his mans to help him. He goes to his mans. He like, bruh, all this weird shit been happening, you know what I'm saying? It's because of this one Wish Willow. Like, I need you to make the wish and say that you wish I never loved Nikki or something like that. And so he not hearing them because obviously, like, you wouldn't guess is like, you know, something like that. So he not hearing them. He not fucking with it. He like, yeah, I wish I had $1 billion. Crack that bitch. Money just start falling straight from the sky. And Bear just sitting there like, there's no fucking way, right? So I guess he bought 2 because he brings it home, and that's what he didn't show. He went to the bathroom, like, his man's walked in the door and Nikki shot him in the head. He fell to the floor, and then she's screaming at him, you know, like yada yada, and then she put the gun in her mouth, you know, just like threatening him basically. He like, all right, let me go get cleaned up because there was blood and throw up all. She threw up on him. That was kind of crazy, but throw up all over him. She like, all right, he like, all right, let me go get cleaned up. So he goes to the bathroom, locks himself in there. She starts screaming, you know what I'm saying? And then she tried to act like, oh, we can break up. I want to take a break. Yada yada. Like, I want to take a break. And then he put the gun in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? He was about to blow his shit. You know, he pussy. He's scared. He ain't got no kahunas. You know what I'm saying? And after that, he seen his grandma's pills that killed the cat, and he was like, all right, we down these bitches. Downed them. And then, of course, being pussy, you know what I'm saying, even though he deserves it, he tried to spit him up. But in that instance, Nikki breaks the One Wish Willow for him to love her. So then they all, like, they're in love and whatever. And then he starts, like, foaming at the mouth because he took all those pills, dies. And then Nikki's like, no, she's about to Romeo and Juliet her shit right into the dome, you know what I'm saying, right through the mouth. But right the second before she did that, it clicks back. The curse breaks because he's dead. And then she's just sitting there. Everybody, all her friends are dead as fuck. Like, and that's a crazy ending. She's just screaming for the whole end.
Tries to kill himself with a gun, but finds himself unable to do it. So he then reaches for the oxycodone pills, the ones that killed his cat. Is this a redemptive, heroic final act? Is he choosing to sacrifice his life in order to set Nikki free? Well, it seems to me the way it's framed is that it's actually a total last resort and it's more about setting himself free. Nikki being set free is a kind of byproduct for him at this point. And one of the reasons I think that is because he does eat the pills, but then he seems to change his mind. He tries to make himself vomit. But before he can, Nikki finds the One Wish Willow and makes a wish, presumably that Bear would be as obsessed with her as she is with him. And he emerges from the bathroom. They kiss, but then she realizes that Bear is dying in her arms from the overdose. The possessed Nikki is devastated. Why? Well, I suppose it's kind of obvious. She's still living under Bear's wish, and therefore she's still infatuated with him, obsessed with him, devastated to see him dying. But if she is in fact demonically possessed, as I've interpreted throughout this video, I don't think the demon is in love with Bear, and that's why it's sad. I think it's sad because it realizes that it can no longer torment Bear.
It may also know that it will be expelled from Nikki's body once Bear dies. It will no longer be able to torment her either. No, I feel that. Okay, that makes sense. The demon, like, I can't do my bidding. You know what I'm saying? I can't do what I got to do because I'm not
now
attached
that
to
he's
anybody.
dying.
I don't have a host
So anyway,
to be
Bear
able to-
dies in Nikki's arms, and the possessed Nikki prepares to take her own life as a result. It's like a perverse retelling of the end of Romeo and Juliet. But at that moment, the curse is lifted. Bear's death ends the effect of his wish. And then the real Nikki finally comes to. So there's a hint of deliverance there. Nikki is released from the curse, but it's definitely not a happy ending. She returns to her body and her life, only to find it in total ruins. Sarah, Ian, and Bear are all dead.
Ian is his name. She sniped Ian straight in his fucking forehead. That was so crazy.
This friendship group, utterly ruined by this careless wish. So to return to the title of this video.
So yeah, that kind of show you why, like his one wish killed all of them, or except Nikki, but she was really not her the whole time. She was really dead, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, not alive the whole time. Then she kind of like saw through it. She had to live the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you about some funny.
What is the real horror of
like,
obsession? Well, to me, it resides in a simple question. Did Bear get his wish? In a sense, yes. His wish was very clear. That Nikki would love him more than anyone else in the whole wide world.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
Bear, I love you so much. I don't think I could live without you.
You love me more than anyone in the world?
Yes, more than anyone.
He gets what...
That's when he realized that, like, oh, nah, like, I really fucked up. Like, it's me.
he wants,
I'm the problem.
and
like,
he doesn't like it.
But
then you could argue that Bear...
he never realized he was a problem. Let me skip back on that. He never realized he was a problem, and he should have.
Doesn't actually get his wish. Because if, and I think it's a big if what he truly wants is a mutual, meaningful connection with Nikki, that's not what he gets. The possessed Nikki is a counterfeit, a distortion, robbing her of agency. So the wish comes true from a fleshly perspective. It produces this carnal obsession, the inevitable outworking of a selfish desire that doesn't truly value the other. But the wish doesn't come true from a spiritual perspective. It doesn't satisfy Bear's ultimate thirst for meaning and intimacy, even if he thought and wished that it would. I think this movie has a lot to say about how devastating our modern inability to define love can be. We often deify that notion of finding the ideal romantic partner, the one, where we believe that other people can satisfy our ultimate longings. That has two problems. The first is that we can end up loving someone selfishly and instrumentally. You know, not for their sake, but for what we can get out of them. That's one problem. The second problem is that it places a burden on relationships that they were never designed to carry. If I make another human being into my god, they will disappoint me. and it's very unfair on them. According to Christianity, we can only know what love actually is when we look at God. He's this eternal, loving union of Father, Son, and Spirit. And his love is most clearly revealed when it is poured out in self-sacrifice for us on the cross. True love is self-sacrificial, not self-serving. And that should then flow into our relationships with others. Christians call one another brothers and sisters in Christ. He is the basis for our love, and we are called to invite others into that love. And many Christians get married. But again, that's founded on self-sacrifice rather than selfishness, because in Christianity, marriage is this metaphor for the cosmic union between Christ and his bride, the church. I don't know what you make of all that, but I'm sure we can all agree that obsession is an absolutely devastating portrayal of a relationship. And I wish I could say to both Nikki and Bear that they are made for so much more than this, that there is a much greater love. And if Bear knew that love, he would not have wished for Nikki to be compelled into loving him, because loving her would actually look like honouring her and laying down his life for her. This film really rattled me. I watched it with my friends Ethan and Sonny at the cinema, and we discussed the film at length afterwards. A lot of those thoughts actually made it into this video, so thanks so much guys, shout out to you. And here's the letterboxd review I wrote of the movie that night. 5 stars, one of the most terrifying films I've ever seen. I want to recommend it and I don't at the same time. It's a phenomenal feat of horror filmmaking, but be warned, it's genuinely disturbing, and I don't say that lightly. I think I stand by that. Well, my name is Thomas, I get into the deeper meaning of movies. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's deeper than you think.
Nah, it's a W there, man. I do want to say, it was pretty funny time when, like, at first, he was on the ground. She's like, oh, you're not being like Nikki. You know what I'm saying? And she did like this reverse thing, like the camera reverse. She's like, that creeped me the fuck out. And then right after that, he's like, you're scaring me. You know, he's screaming at her, you're scaring me. And she pump faked him. And then he just bitched up back in the corner. It was crazy. This movie, I said if I had to rate it, I would most definitely give this movie 10 out of 10. Absolutely beautiful film. Curry Barker did his big one. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really stepped to the plate with this one. I know him and his boy, him and I don't know the name of Ian, although I should. But they do like skits on YouTube, and they have like 1 million or so followers on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So they're not new to this. They true to this. Absolutely beautiful work, honestly. Let me know what else y'all want me to review, or honestly anything that comes out popular, you'll probably see it here. So, you know, that's all I got for y'all today.